Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. And the news today is Doctor Who Worlds Apart. So this is interesting, even if you're not a Doctor Who fan. It is the first time that the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, has licensed some of its IP for use on a blockchain. So it's interesting. The BBC is not necessarily, it's particularly in the UK, seen as a technologically innovative company, but actually, if you know a bit about the BBC, they have actually over the years done a lot of kind of cool stuff, particularly in the gaming space. They have their own internal games teams and work with other companies as well. So it shouldn't be, I suppose, a surprise that they're kind of quite active in this space. Although we should point out, it's not the BBC choosing to go on the blockchain. It is the developer of the game, which is a Reality Gaming Group based in London, and they approached the BBC to get this IP. It's actually, if you talk to Reality Gaming Group, it's actually quite a complicated project, because the BBC has the overall Doctor Who IP, but then lots of other people have individual IP. Sometimes even some individual characters have particular license holders. So it is quite complicated. It took them, I think, 8 months to get all this deal sorted out, because the plan is to have kind of characters and assets from the whole Doctor Who universe, I guess, as you say. We can see here just some of the ones. Also, we have Daleks, and we have the TARDIS, and we have the Weeping Angels, they're called there, and various regeneration Doctor Who. So if you're going to do Doctor Who, you have to, I guess, as much as possible, have all the Doctor Who stuff people expect. So I guess we expect all the different Doctors. I guess we expect most of the companions, although there's been probably hundreds of those over the years, and various forms of Daleks and Cybermen and all the kind of baddies that we have hidden behind the sofa watching. Or was that just me? So Doctor Who Worlds Apart. It is interesting because Doctor Who is a specific sort of IP. In a sense, it is global. I think there are, Whovians, as they call themselves. There are Whovians the world over, but it is, I guess, it's mainly be English speaking. So kind of UK, Ireland, New Zealand, Australia, I suppose, North America. So it is interesting from that point of view. They are a pretty committed fan base, but they're obviously not as big as, say, Star Wars or whatever. So it'd be interesting to see how they take it. The other thing to point out, it is a trading card game. So this is very much following the pattern of what we've seen in trading card games, or card collection games, however you want to call them, have proved incredibly popular on blockchain, at least from developers' point of view, because it's very clear what's going on here. The ownership model is you own the cards, and you can trade the cards running on Ethereum. So a very standard NFT model, really. And the cards come in packs that you open, and there's different rarity drops. So you might get the same Dalek card, but you have, I imagine, I don't know this, but I'd imagine it would be like a common, uncommon, epic, legendary, whatever terms they're using. So that's the kind of the kind of mechanic that they're using. And then obviously there's a deck building process. I don't quite know how the gameplay works, but I'm sure it will be a typical sort of Hearthstone type Magic, where you have amount of kind of mana that goes up every turn-based head-to-head game, and then you play your cards and they attack the opponent, and that's the model. So I guess we kind of, even people like me who are not massive trading card kind of fans, have over the years picked up enough expertise to play these sort of games. So obviously Hearthstone, I guess people have played, certainly on the blockchain side. I've played a lot of Splinterlands recently, which is probably the most simple sort of trading card game you can get. We have Gods Unchained, I guess, pretty high profile, a bit too complex for me. Skyweaver, also played a little bit of, again, probably a little bit complicated for me. Hopefully Doctor Who won't be quite as complicated as those games. We will see. So it's been announced, it's coming 2021, so a few months off. Coming first to PC, will also come to mobile. It is interesting that Reality Gaming Group have been best known up to this point for Reality Clash, which was, or is, I should say, a location-based AR-driven first-person shooter. Quite a lot of technical risk in that game. Pretty interesting. But they are now kind of modifying that game, I suppose. So I think they're reducing the location-based elements because they found no one played it. Particularly, obviously, COVID doesn't help in that situation. So they've got a lot of experience in terms of Reality Clash. Worked on the Ethereum blockchain. You owned the guns. They built. There's quite a nice kind of marketplace, PC-based marketplace that Reality Clash has, and actually using that, there was a very good kind of interactive communication between the kind of developers and the players. So you had a lot of email communication when you were buying stuff as well. So I think they've got a good foundation. Just perhaps that Reality Clash as a game was a bit too niche, whereas Doctor Who, obviously a brand that people will know about. So what's going to happen with Doctor Who Worlds Apart? Well, the first thing, as you tend to see with these kind of games on Ethereum, is there will be a pre-sale. So a limited number of packs, each consisting of 5 cards of different rarities. So each pack will have 5 cards in it, and that's going to happen in October 2020. The packs that will be released there will be a limited number, so they could sell out, and the cards in those packs, as I understand it, are also limited. So that is a kind of a limited edition cards in a limited number of packs, and then when the game actually launches, there'll be a new set of packs made available, obviously different characters. So there is this kind of scarcity model that we always expect on blockchain, and that's kind of how they're dealing with it. We haven't got any pricing ideas yet. I imagine kind of what we've seen previously is about a kind of $5 sort of opening kind of price, I suppose. I don't know if they're going to have it's just 5 cards. So in some of these kind of games, we see like packs of 5 cards and packs of like 25 cards or whatever. It looks like they're just going for 5 cards. I'd expect it to be $5 ish, maybe $10 at the most. We'll see. I mean, it is a kind of you have to think about, you don't get a Doctor Who license and not have to pay all the licensees. So obviously there's a cost involved in having a license like this. So maybe that will mean the price of these things goes up. The other thing to point out, however, is that you don't need to buy packs to play the game. When it comes out, everyone will get a free pack. So everyone will get like 5 cards just to start them off. So if you just want to play the game, see if you like it, see if it's interesting. Everyone will get 5 cards. I imagine those will obviously, when you start off, will be not valuable cards. Otherwise, the developer will be giving away a lot of money if the game gets successful. They may not even be on the blockchain, so it may be often the case that you may have cards, kind of simple cards that you can't actually trade because then they're not on the blockchain. And if you want to do the trading stuff, you have to actually spend money to buy the ones that are on the blockchain. We'll see how that plans out. So I think it is. It's not. I wouldn't say this is going to be a enormously successful game because it's not. It's not the same case as if someone was doing a Star Wars blockchain card game. You would see a different sort of mechanic. But I think, given where we are now, it is interesting to see these well-known licenses coming, and obviously the BBC. I think they had to have some education. It wasn't all about Bitcoin and scam and this sort of stuff that people were building proper products on here. I think the other thing that actually Reality gaming groups have done well with Reality Clash is they are quite good at onboarding people. So while people who know about crypto will obviously can charge straight into it, I think that there will be a good holding process. Could you imagine the point of getting a license like this is you're not just dealing with crypto enthusiasts, as we call them, you're dealing with people who just like Doctor Who. So you need to make sure they can get on board, and obviously buying the packs, I imagine you can use cryptocurrency, but you will also be able to use credit cards. That's now pretty standard. I mean, it should be standard, shouldn't it? So hopefully the games like this, licenses like this can help the kind of onboarding process and increasing the size of people who are just happy playing blockchain games. The other thing to point out is, although we kind of talk about it as a blockchain game, the game is not really being promoted as a blockchain game. So if you go to the game's website, let's see what it says. Oh, we've got some cookies. So we've got Doctor Who digital trading cards. So no mention of, here's a blockchain here, protect on the blockchain, but doesn't mention Ethereum. It's much more about these are digital trading cards, Doctor Who, pretty cool. You can collect and trade them. And obviously we have various kind of games already where you would have a digital trading cards would be used without necessarily also being attached to blockchain. So certainly be interesting to see that there is a massive fan base for Doctor Who in terms of like these fan sites, and the kind of the news has been pretty widely covered on the blockchain space as well. So I imagine Don't know how many packs will be sold in the pre-sale. I imagine they'll go pretty quickly. That tends to be the kind of model people have, and we see a lot of activity in the collectible sector generally. So I think it's playing well into that kind of trend. I guess the way these things will actually have value in the long term is people want to play the game. So hopefully it won't be too complicated for the likes of me to play. Anyway, thanks for listening, watching the video. This is Blockchain Gaming World Daily, where we have a quick look at the daily news and see what's going on in the world of blockchain. If you're interested in that, please do subscribe. Pretty active covering the news. Hopefully we're informative as well. But thanks for watching this one, and hope to see you again soon.